this episode of the Weird Obscure World podcast.
I have been abducted.
Wait, what?
The main forms they take are reptilian entities.
Welcome.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show. Weekend show. We decided to go ahead and bring it to you live. We do a YouTube section following every show where we upload to YouTube. And what we found is that the live videos are so much easier to upload to YouTube because they're there, they're ready, they include all the stuff.
Yeah. And Facebook Live so far has been a pretty good program for us.
So this week we are talking aliens. We got to bring it back to aliens. We've had many weeks that we've kind of covered odd things, conspiracy, different occurrences in history. Welcome to the show, Tyler. Good to see you.
Tyler, Dexter, Jessica. Yes.
Yeah, coming in.
Hi, everyone.
So this week's weird news. You want to start? You want me to start?
Well, you've got the lead story. We'll let you start. My story's sad, depressing, miserable.
It's not funny.
No, it's go ahead.
Depends on how twisted you are. Okay, my story's easy. I'm going to set my story up quite simply by saying that there is a solution. Gone are the days when your trumps smelt of egg or some other rotten substance. Now your gas can have a range of aromas.
Really, you can pick it. You can pick it like a ScentAss.
So smelling of everything from chocolate, which, by the way, is more gross.
That's
do not do that. That is not okay. That's not okay.
So, Cousin Amy, come charging in. Do I smell chocolate? Yes, you do.
No, you should never do that, but you can. But please don't. From chocolate to,
where do I do this? Where?
To flowers, a Frenchman claims to have invented a pill which can transform the smell of your farts. I'm ordering this today.
Yeah.
I'm ordering this today because I want to know, but I promise you I will not be ordering in the chocolate persuasion.
I promise you, I want a plethora of them all. I want to do like a ScentAss gift pack.
It's a bizarre product created by Christian Poincheval.
Neighbors will be calling you up. Hey, can you come on over and utilize my facilities, freshen the place up a little bit?
Yeah, I've got company coming. Would you mind coming and relieving yourself here? So it's called Pilupet, and I'm not sure how that's translated, but maybe I'll ask my kids. It's a pill that you take following, a particularly foul-smelling meal, so that the odors you emit are pleasant, like roses.
Foul-smelling meal.
Yeah, like if you eat Mexican food.
Speaking of Amy's on there.
Did I smell chocolate? So here's how he came up with it. He said, we were at a table with friends after a copious meal. We nearly asphyxiated ourselves with our smelly farts.
Still at the table. He's not even going to say, pardon me, or el pardon me. Move his mustache, ash his cigarette.
No.
Adjust his striped shirt, and then walk to the John or the Jaunet.
The Jaunet. No. He claims the pills are entirely natural, just a dietary supplement based on natural ingredients.
Like chocolate.
Oh, like chocolate.
I love it.
You can get it in a range of smells. And that the fart pill came to life as a result of a lengthy research and trials. And it's been on sale.
So you see an ad in the paper.
It's been on sale since 2007.
Make up to $27 an hour.
So you can get
Come
it.
test our supplements And then the guy in the lab coat comes in, gets right down close.
For crying out loud. Apparently what happens is these pills are designed to dissolve in the small intestine, and that's apparently where your gas is created. And
Ooh.
well, yeah. You can now customize your farts.
Colby Sandberg said Taco Bell should include this with every nacho grand.
Please, not a chocolate one. Please. Please. I do not. No, I can't do it. I can't do it.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, it's not
People
okay.
come running in, then get all disappointed.
Yeah. Oh, it smells delicious in here. Thank you. I had Mexican last night.
ScentAss. Perfect. I should get a hold of that frog and have him rename it.
Oh. Yeah.
All right.
Anyway.
Okay, guys, grab your napkins.
Mm.
This story's all right. The story has funny parts in it, but it surrounds a tragedy.
Okay.
So, Doré DeBreese Johnson. This feller's 29 years old. He's accused of vehicular homicide.
That's not funny.
No, it's not. So he's in Knoxville, Tennessee. And let's cover this guy for a second. This dipshit, he's been charged 12 times since 2009 on driving with a suspended license.
Oh.
He's had a couple other
what?
DUIs.
Okay, 12 times since 2009. That's more than one a year.
Yeah, he averages about 1.3 a year.
Okay.
He's had drug charges, theft charges, and other DUIs. So he was stopped. A state trooper pulled him over on the freeway. He pulled off to the side. State trooper pulls in behind him, gets out of his car, and starts walking up, approaching the vehicle. He stopped because he doesn't have license plates or anything on his car.
Okay.
And as the state trooper gets to the back corner of his car, he hauls ass and says, "I got to get to my family's house," and drives off. So state trooper gets back in, pursuit starts. He ends up, at times the state troopers lose him, but he ends up hitting a curb, blowing his tire, and crashing.
Okay, so in the pursuit.
Yeah, in the pursuit.
Okay.
So they get up there, and in the passenger side of his car is the upper half of Daryl Butler's torso.
What?
He ran a guy over while he was running away. They went and found the lower half, found the wallet. That's how they identified the guy.
What's his car made of? That he split someone in half?
I imagine you see a picture of the car. He traded paint with every hard surface on his escape. Traded paint with
What
telephone
the
poles,
crap?
concrete barriers. I mean, his car's demolished. And it kind of looks like Mr. Butler's body got there through the windshield. But he told the police that, yes, I'm drunk, but he was driving and we switched places after he pulled us over.
Stop.
No,
Okay.
it's sad. It's sad. This Daryl Butler was a homeless guy up until a few months ago and finally got housing and started turning his life around. And then DeRay dipshit
It's not funny.
Jackweed kills him. But anyways, the ass face, I'm sorry, I'm cursing way too much for this because we might have children watching. But this individual tells him that the guy he killed was driving. But now he's mad because they're not giving him bail.
Listen, I'm going straight to hell for laughing at
I
this
am
story. This is not a funny.
I am too. They should honestly throw him in a cell, lock that fucking cell door, and then just flush the key down the toilet.
Oh, Jared.
This guy should never breathe free air again, ever. Especially with the record where he's always. It just seems like he just wants to do everything he can to be a nuisance to society.
Okay.
But the other guy was driving. We swapped places after I was pulled over.
Oh my goodness.
That's my story. Sad story. Okay, everyone, wipe your eyes.
Just,
I
listen,
can't even riff on that one. I can't. I'm brokenhearted.
it's not okay to laugh about this story.
No,
It's not.
it's not.
It's not okay.
Maybe that frog guy can make a pill that makes your shit smell more like eggs and more like shit, and we can send that to this guy's cellmate.
Oh, for crying out loud.
I know, it's terrible. It's heinous.
Okay. Oh my. I'm gonna have nightmares about that.
Colby Sandberg says, technically, could he use the carpool lane? Oh man, you're gonna get us in trouble. People are gonna think that we're heartless and cold. But it's kind of funny.
Oh, sorry, I'm going straight to hell. I'm going straight to hell.
Oh, that was a good one, Colby. That was a good one. I like it.
Okay. Okay. All right. Okay, we've got to get off that subject. That's
Yeah.
a terrible story.
Yeah, it's alien time,
Yeah,
right?
we're gonna we're gonna talk reptilians today.
We're gonna talk.
This
to
is
Queen.
serious.
I mean, we're gonna talk.
This
we're
is
gonna talk to
serious,
President-
people.
I mean, we're gonna talk about Alpha Draconis reptilian aliens.
I haven't seen any indication that the president is, but his wife definitely.
No,
I have seen the video footage of her shapeshifting.
Yeah.
It's happening.
How does
people.
she shapeshift?
It's the eyes. We'll get into that.
Yeah.
There are ways that you can tell both if you're in the presence of a reptilian and if you are one yourself.
So you could be one and may not know.
Yeah. Yeah,
Really?
It's part of their it's part of the grand scheme.
So if you start feeling hungry for like baby,
if you're in a position of high influence, you're likely a reptilian
if-
or a reptilian hybrid, because the idea is they feed off of the human experience. So they're at the center of wars, and they're generally funding both sides, or at least their cohorts are funding both sides. So it's said that you could possibly be one and not even recognize it.
So it could just be these desires to.
If you've ever been abducted, your likelihood goes up that you're a reptilian.
They abduct themselves.
Well, they're abducted by other aliens like greys and things.
Now I have heard other stories where greys like work for the reptilians.
Yeah, and generally they
But why would the greys abduct them? Just that's their annual checkup to renew their insurance. The greys come abduct them. Slide a finger in there. All right, he's good. Put him back. Insurance is renewed.
Okay. So
every November abductions go up because it's open enrollment.
I don't know. It makes sense. Okay, we're gonna.
Oh, Mom showed up. Hi, Mom. Sorry, I'm glad you didn't show up earlier.
We're gonna graph it, people, to see if they do go up in November. Perhaps their open enrollment is a different time of the year.
That's true.
We'll know when it is by
true.
the wave of abductions.
Okay, so that's our next study. So we've got the Save the Crab commercial coming up, and we got to do a study on
the Save the Crab commercial. People,
open enrollment is.
You need to watch for the Save the Crab because we're talking venereal crabs. Jared is on a mission to single-handedly save a species.
Yes.
And I think it's important that all of our listeners get behind his clearly godlike desires.
I'm a humanitarian.
You really are a humanitarian.
I mean, I don't want to call myself a saint for my efforts, but if others want to. I
He
won't
sings
argue.
like a saint, so we'll have that in the commercial.
Yes, you're going to see that commercial.
Couple of
tentative
weeks.
Plan, 2 weeks.
It's in production now.
Yes. Yes.
All right. So reptilian humanoids, or simply reptilians, also known as reptoids, lizard people,
Queen of
reptiloids,
England.
saurians, and draconians,
Yes.
are purported humanoids with the characteristics of reptiles that play a prominent role in conspiracy theories and ufology.
Yes.
So the idea of reptilians was popularized by David Icke.
The man. Did you
But
go watch that video yet?
I can't find the video where he melts down. I really want to see that.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Where 1 second he's like fine, and then he's like, and
No,
he
he just-
loses it.
He just deadpans
I
for a
am the son of God.
minute. I'm Jesus. I'm like, oh, here it is.
So, however, Michael Barkin, a professor of political science at Syracuse University, postulates the idea of a reptilian conspiracy actually originated from Conan the Barbarian.
Ooh.
The first appearance of serpent men in literature was in the Shadow Kingdom, but Conan the Barbarian actually gave it a life beyond being just a serpent, but more of a person
Yeah.
interacting with other humans.
Yeah, it was. It was in the comics and in the books. They had one of their gods was a serpent.
And
I think that was in the first one. That guy he fought that looked like he should have been on Flash Gordon.
yeah, so alien abduction narratives have kind of circled around the reptilian theory too. One of the earliest reports was that of Ashland, Nebraska. Ashland, Nebraska police officer Herbert Schirmer, who was born in 1945, who under hypnosis recalled being taken aboard a UFO in 1967 by humanoid beings with a slightly reptilian appearance. I just did hypnosis, and I am sad to report I have not been abducted that I'm aware of.
Yeah, mine. I did it as well. We got to talk about that. We need to have some time.
Yeah.
A lot to process, but
At
it
any
was
rate,
interesting. You're going to have a show about it in a couple weeks.
yeah. At any rate, I was saddened. It broke my heart to find that I had not
Yeah, you were.
been abducted.
You were hoping. I don't know why you were hoping.
I don't know.
I mean,
I just
I don't get.
I think it'd be a cool experience.
Okay.
Anyway, according to British conspiracy theorist David Icke,
David Icke,
he's the one who kind of popularized
truth seer.
it. All-knowing. Listen, I love David Icke.
I
You
do
cannot
too.
speak
And-
ill of him.
And actually, when he talks, he's
Convincing.
kind of savvy and intelligent.
Yeah.
But
He's debonair.
he's been practicing, and he catches hell. He catches hell. Like when he writes a book and does those book tours where you sign it. You watch any of those videos, people show up and razz him. They show up in costume and tease him.
That's because
And
they're reptilians. They don't
so-
want him to spread the message.
He's so calm and controlled the whole time.
Okay. He says they are tall, usually between 6 and 7 feet.
Mom says she's glad you haven't been abducted.
Oh, Mom, you need to be on my side on this. I really was hoping to find that in my past lives. Okay, David Icke says that they're tall, between 6 and 7 feet, that they drink blood, they shapeshift,
Mm-hmm.
and that they come from the Alpha Draconis star system, which actually looks much like a serpent if you look at it in the night sky.
That's why it's called Alpha Draconis.
Yeah, it's got a serpentine feel to it. So he says they're now hiding in underground bases and are the force behind a worldwide conspiracy against humanity. He contends that most of the world's ancient and modern leaders are related to these reptilians. So there was, for instance, the royal family
Uh-huh.
all have the same blood type.
No, it's not just the royal family. All of the royal families are related.
Yes, and he says that that was by design to keep that reptilian bloodline
Keep it pure.
pure.
Yeah.
And scientists actually are studying the Rh negative factors because they believe that that also ties back into both these royal bloodlines that are tight. I mean, if they all have type O blood, you know that that breeding was kept really tight.
Yeah, that tree is.
A pull.
Well, you see, like, well, even during World War One, okay, you had the Habsburgs, which were related to the Austro-Hungarian kings. The Habsburgs were the Germans, and then you had the English royalty, and the wife of the Tsar of Russia. That was all one family. Like literally, Elizabeth, was it Elizabeth I or Victoria, was the grandmother of all of them going to war against each other. These are opposite sides of the war. We're all related.
It's crazy.
Matter of fact, while Russia and Germany were at war, the Tsar and the Kaiser, two opposite kings, were writing each other letters as cousins. They called each other Cousin Nikki. And
But they were at war?
they were at war against each other.
Sickos. They are reptilians.
But it doesn't matter because they're not. I mean, it did ultimately end up killing the Tsar, but that's because his people saw through his reptilian stuff and went after him. But he
Yeah.
wasn't a reptile. His wife was.
Okay. So the conspiracy theory that Ike has propagated now has supporters in 47 countries, and he gives lectures to crowds of up to 6,000 people at a time. It's also included in the list of 10 most popular conspiracy theories, described as often the wackiest theory that people encounter, but still not wacky enough for people to leave it behind. There's so much evil that takes place that I think people look for a place to put it or a reason to put behind it. And it's, the more I
think there's
researched
so
on
much.
this.
I think there's so much reason that evil happens.
So
I'm a believer. Aliens or reptiles are real.
yeah. So it's commonly found around politics or people of really high influence.
Yeah.
So a lot of popular movie stars, Angelina Jolie.
Oh, well, obviously. I mean, not a question. Not a doubt in my mind.
Melania Trump, Justin Bieber. There are Katy Perry. There are.
What about Tom Cruise?
Oh, I would say Tom Cruise, definitely.
Because did you hear him and Justin Bieber might do like a MMA fight?
So their video that you can go out and watch. There's lots of video on the YouTube, on the tube of the U, of people shape-shifting. And what they say is if you are full reptilian, you have control over it. If you are a half-breed, you may not even know that you have reptilian bloodlines, but they're being controlled. Their lives are being controlled, and money being funneled into these hybrids because, like Justin Bieber, they say Justin Bieber is a hybrid because he doesn't recognize when he's shape-shifting. It's not something that he's doing intentionally. It's done under duress. Like one video that I found was when he got a DUI and was standing before the judge, and he's on the court recording. And when the judge reads his charges and what he could face, you see a distinctive, strange something happening with his eyes. And they shift. You can see the shift. People have pulled this video apart. They've absolutely pulled it apart. Some people say, oh no, it's just something that happened, with
So he
the
may not
recording.
know what happens, but his stress level hits.
His stress level goes up, and then you can see him shake it off, and he
does
goes
his
back
eyes
to
do?
normal. So his eyes,
Do they go like slits?
They take on the slit appearance, but not just that. The eyelids, both upper and lower eyelids, change in the video.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a court recording, so it's not like it's a high definition recording, but even in the court recording, you can see a shift. Something happens and you can see it happen, and then he shakes it off and it's gone.
So do they think Justin Bieber knows about his?
No, the theory is that he doesn't know. There's
So it makes you
actually
wonder what it'd feel like while you shift.
Yeah.
Is it like maybe you see stars for a second, little indigestion?
I don't know, but there's 4 or 5 videos of Justin Bieber. One, he's being chased by paparazzi, and he turns to face the camera, and his entire face takes on a different,
Like on Thriller?
Straight. Yeah, but his whole face shifts, and people have said, "Oh, it's Photoshop." Humna, but he shakes that off, and then he's back to normal again. So, if you're the Biebs, if you're a hybrid, they say you may not know you're a hybrid.
So I might be shaving one day, nick myself, my eye goes slit, and then I freak out.
If you're in the presence of someone,
but I haven't been. I hope I haven't been abducted.
I want to be abducted.
They're ignoring me for open enrollment, Betsy. You got that weird blood.
I do have the weird blood. Okay. So here are how to tell if someone you know is in fact a lizard person in disguise. You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Lizard people are very sensual. Great.
Okay.
So the only thing that these reptilian people really care about is feeding off of human energy. So there are so many ways to siphon our energy, and copulation is one of them.
Oh, so they might be people of the night.
So if a person in your life is obsessed with both intimacy and dominance, you may be facing down a lizard person or a hybrid.
You may be married to one.
You could be.
Oh my goodness.
Ingesting meat makes them smell awful.
Well, we got a French guy that can take care of that now.
The French guy is clearly on the lizard people's pay.
He might be.
Yeah, he's on their books because he's created a way to cover that up. So to try and mask this smell, the full reptilians stick to a vegetarian diet.
Oh.
The hybrids that aren't aware that they're a reptilian may not, but you will recognize that the smell from the meat.
We need to watch out for vegans.
Yes. Vegans who like copulation. Lizard people avoid the sun. The most obvious reason
Do they sparkle?
they hate the sun is that they like to do their work, their creepy work in cold, dark areas.
Well, and in the night, and you get all hot and sweaty if it's out in the sun, and
yeah,
you know.
Lizard people are super manipulative.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to watch for people that are really manipulative in your life, and keep in mind that if you know someone who's super manipulative, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're a lizard person, but connect the dots. Lizard people will gaslight you. The goal of these reptilians...
Now, the gaslighting, that's where they say things to make you believe that their actions are actions that's caused by you. So like a narcissist.
Yeah. So the goal, and the reason that they do this, is the goal is to cause mass confusion so they can drain your energy. So gaslighting is another one. They are emotionless. Researchers interested in lizard people have noted that when a reptilian interacts with a human, they often attempt to mimic a person's responses or facial features. So they're not creating emotion on the inside on their own. They're everyone's been around the person in the group where if everyone laughs, he kind of looks up and goes,
Well, oh yeah.
lizard person. Okay.
Okay.
Reptilians have RH negative blood type.
Okay. What is the type you have?
RH negative.
Oh.
Yeah.
So anyhow.
So today, only a few people are born with this blood type, making them human reptilian hybrids who are much better at infiltrating humanity than pure reptilians.
So mom also has the
Total reptilian.
love you, mom.
Yep. Yeah. It's a way for us to hide who we really are.
I like how you've suddenly changed it to
we
first
yes,
person.
Yes.
To
They hate cats. Reptilian people.
what kind of pet do you have, Betsy?
A dog. I'm not a big cat person. It's unknown whether or not their hatred for felines means that the furry friend should be cautious around them. Like if they're mean to cats, they just don't like cats. And lizard people, reportedly, cats don't really like them either. So
It's mutual.
it's a mutual. Reptilians wear you down. So people who've experienced the effects of the lizard people claim that a run-in with one of them can make you feel like you're drained of energy. So that's another way you'll know if the people in your life, like, are they draining? Do they take so much more than they give? Because they have to live on the energy that we give off.
Yeah, so
Which is why they create war, because war is a
them-
lot of really energy.
isn't there like an emotional vampire
Yeah.
thing?
They compartmentalize their social lives. To do this, they try to maintain a social life that seems devoid of large groups of people. For instance, a lizard person may say that they went to a party or out with a group of people, but there won't be any visual proof of the evening in question.
So what, like me?
Yeah, you could be a lizard
I never
person.
take pictures of anything. I always,
Mhm.
like, you have to remind me to. But you know what? I've noticed. Here's a little poll. Sorry to interrupt people. But girls, like, before they take a road trip somewhere, take a picture of themselves, and it's a celebration.
Mm-hmm.
Me, guys, the average guy is like, all right, I'm leaving.
Going on a trip.
So is that a difference between male and females, do you think?
Well, there would have to be marked differences between them, because reportedly, there are both male and female reptilians amongst us.
Well, yeah, you've got the Queen and
Yeah.
Justin Bieber.
And Justin Bieber. The purpose of the reptilians is total control.
Mhm.
So it is said, both by David Icke and other people who theorize this, that if we start there, that the likelihood of finding reptilians is actually really high. Or that the people influencing them are reptilians, and they perhaps could be hybrids.
So if we went down a list of, say, just the presidents,
Oh, yeah.
which one of them do you think were, and which ones
So
weren't?
here's how they say, was there war during their time? Or did they supply to war machines or other warmongering countries? Hello?
All of them.
All of them.
All of them.
All of them fit into that, because it is by grand design.
I
The
mean,
reptilians.
Even Jimmy Carter had that little dust off in Afghanistan.
Yeah. So the reptilians feed off of that massive amount of energy that is created. It also confuses people, or it's kind of like watching what this hand is doing while this hand is doing this. So people of influence, people of high influence, like presidents and royalty, are more likely to be actual reptilians. People of lower influence are controlled by and contribute to the complete reptilians by their spheres of influence, much like Angelina Jolie, Justin Bieber.
Or maybe they just go for different emotions.
Yeah.
Like say Justin Bieber likes the teenage girl squealing, and Angelina Jolie likes the perverted normal guy, I don't know, squealing.
Yeah.
Huh.
But the reason they go for high influential people is because their scope is so much larger. The number of people that Angelina Jolie can influence is much higher than, I would say a cut rate actor or
Obviously.
actress. And same with Justin Bieber. The crowds that go to his shows. I personally think David Icke's a reptilian.
Really?
I think he's a plant.
Really?
Yeah,
He's
because
just
he's creating his own wave of energy.
He's just
And
subversive.
there was a guy, he was a state trooper in California. You can find his blogs on YouTube, where he uploaded a blog about reptilians, where he kind of took apart this footage and looked into what, who could be, what are they doing, what's their purpose. Within hours, he had law enforcement at his door, and they continued, he blogged all of this, they continued to harass him for weeks.
Were they ordered to?
Well, they never said that they were sent there by the reptilians, but they said, oh, we're looking for a guy who used to live here. Can we come in and look around? And at first he said, I don't care. He let him in. His video is still playing, and they are searching his apartment, and they're looking at his computer and things. And you can tell in the video, it starts to get a little weird. So he asks them to leave. He says, well, clearly that person you're looking for isn't here. The same two cops come back over the course of the next 3 or 4 months, dozens of times. Like it's like a form of harassment. And he attributes it to the fact that he's never had this before, uploading the Reptilian, go live, let's tell all about it. And once he did that, to his large following of YouTube subscribers.
So my address is 1507 62nd Avenue, middle of nowhere, Virginia. So now they might start parading through my house.
They may show up.
Oh, damn it.
They may show up. These kinds of things could, my guess is perhaps, given that he was at a level of influence that they didn't want,
Well, you said he was a state trooper?
Yeah, he was a state trooper, but he had a YouTube following. He did these videos. They were mostly like
it's a good thing
creative
we're getting this out
videos.
now when we're young and still a toddler on the stage of.
Yeah.
Then after that, we'll sell out. So for the right price,
that's right.
We will act as your voice, and well, Betsy's one of you anyway.
So modern leaders that are clearly related are the Rothschilds. Have to be reptilian. The Bush family, the British royal family, all of the dynasties, clear from the 5th century. I mean, all of them have to be. They have to be reptilians. So the history is they used to live among us.
Yeah.
And we just wandered about them, and it was just part of everyday life.
Caveman days, right?
Yes.
Okay.
There was an uprising of sorts, and they had to go underground.
Like we said, we grabbed the, torches and pitchforks.
Something to that nature.
They went underground, learned how to shapeshift.
Yeah. They honed their shape-shifting capabilities, and they appeared united as one to reign supreme and to control the humans. But they didn't stop there. They actually interbred with the humans, which created these hybrids, which, I guess I could be, 1/10 reptilian. I don't think my ancestry DNA 23andMe is going to show that. But 23andMe, if you wouldn't mind.
That's 22 and me.
That's, yeah, it's 22. Clearly, if you're not checking for that.
See, now I've heard a couple of different stories on this. One was that they lived among us, they got ran under. I've heard that it's like an advanced party that's been here preparing for the takeover.
Mm-hmm.
You know, from Alpha Draconis. I've heard they originated here. I've heard they've originated there and then came here. I've also heard that they seeded us.
That we were
Kind
seeded?
of like the Anunnaki.
Okay, so I want to talk about alien seeding. Would that be like by way of asteroid?
Well,
They put it on an
that's
asteroid. They pointed it towards us.
panspermia idea. But some of them, the idea is like on Prometheus. They came here, they seeded it with DNA and started life and then kind of molded life as it went along.
Yeah. I don't know. Reptilians. They seem the most aggressive, most malevolent of all the alien species. And they seem, I think maybe because they're considered if you take all of the alien species together, the reptilians are kind of the hierarchy and the others report to them. So maybe malevolence is kind of synonymous with that hierarchy. But the fact that they drink blood, eat little children, are really tall, and control like the powers of the world also make them pretty malevolent.
I've heard that when they've the ones that shift into their dragon bodies, you have different colors that denote their rank. Like you've got green ones that don't have wings. Those are the lower caste. And then you've got green ones with wings. And then you've got brown, and the wings are little. They're not wings that can fly, but they're just appendages, kind of. Then you got brown ones with small wings, and that's kind of their low-level manager class. So you've got the ones without wings are kind of morons, and then the ones with wings are kind of technical workers, and then you've got brown starts into kind of a manager class. You got brown ones with small wings are kind of lower level managers, and then you got brown ones with big wings that can fly, and those are higher level managers, and then you go to gold.
Why would reptiles fly? That is creepy.
Why would you be a reptile and not fly?
Oh, I guess. Okay, I'll give you that. If I'm going to be a reptile, I'm going to fly. All
But
right.
that's what I've heard. There's a guy that did a show on it. He was on the Unbelievable podcast. He did an interview with them and talked about how he was in law enforcement, and he was abducted, he was abducted, but a part of one of their trainings in a Walmart, because Walmarts are where they train.
Reptilians?
Yeah.
Why does that make so much sense?
Well, obviously, Walmart was a reptilian.
Now I'm going to look at Walmart forever differently.
But their prices.
Yeah. But it's all part of the thing, the whole control.
Yeah.
They keep their prices the way they are so they can get more people in and they can have more money. It's
get people to dedicate themselves to Walmart.
Reptilians, let us know what you think. I will tell you, in all of my research, reading into the reptilians, for every video that I found giving information about them, I found an opposite video, which tells me that inasmuch as there is an initiative to prove them, there is every bit an initiative to disprove them. And I challenge you to do that with any other conspiracy theory. It's not like that. With most conspiracy theories, the only two exceptions to that are the reptilians and the Illuminati, which, from what I understand, the Illuminati are reptilian. So, the only one that it applies to, where every single solitary piece of of information you can find for it, there is right next to it, bumped up against it, information to discredit it. I don't understand why, if it's so far-fetched, why is there's more information on this than flat Earth to discredit reptilians.
It is weird how the reptilian. So this was in what, early 2000s when this really climbed up on the board.
Is
And
that when Ike melted down?
I think he melted down in the late 90s. I'll have to research that.
I love David Icke.
And he's real interesting to listen to. And he's toned down the reptilian part of it.
Well, he's toned down his rhetoric altogether. I think he's more mainstreamed it because at first he was God or son of God.
Yeah.
And then he kind of went to, I am an energy, we are all God. And then he's kind of.
And it was hard reptilian, but now he talks more kind of general governmental conspiracy, governments seeking to maintain control, to maintain dominance, currency dominance. We need to have Dave come back in again and talk about
Liberland.
kind of the cryptocurrencies and how that can. There is something to be said about how that can help free humanities from governments. Because, like, let's say right now, you're not a fan of the current president we have, but everything you do manages to support that government that's
Sure.
honestly the same government as we had 4 years ago. The government hasn't changed.
Sure.
I mean, those
The
all the
talking
things
head
that
has.
are going on, but no, the media is either looking at, I don't want to lay the blame on the media, but the media ignored all these things when it was going on 4 years ago, but
Mhm.
now they push those things to the fore when it's the same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, those cages and places where they lock the people up.
They've been there for years.
They've been there
Yeah.
for
12, 14 years.
Yeah.
They've been used in the same capacity without change for the last 15 years. But now the rhetoric is their concentration camps.
Now the rhetoric, well, it's just the media pays attention to them
Yeah.
now, when before they ignored them. So I think it's just but okay, back to cryptocurrency. So the Federal Reserve is not a part of the government, but closely tied into it. And so everything you do, every dollar, every whatever, supports that design already.
Supports the machine.
Whereas if there's a cryptocurrency, you can separate yourself from that. It's not controlled. It's not, the government can't make a change. Well, they can, and they do, but the government can't directly change the value of stuff the way they do. They still can and do until more people. I think once a Rubicon's passed that so many people's involved in it, the government hands aren't in it. The government can't devaluate it by increasing the numbers. They can't make its value more by increasing the interest rate on it. So we've just got to cross that fulcrum, that Rubicon, where more people are involved, to where it wrestles control back to the people. And it can also make it so right now we're in a trade war with China. It can also make it so that the people of China and the people of the United States, through this currency, can commit to commerce without the government's argument. But anyways, sorry to get off subject. We're talking about the Queen of England.
Reptilians. Let us know what you think.
Yeah.
I'm sold. Okay. The Greys was
So
a little
you're-
harder for me.
You're a believer?
The Greys was harder for me to grasp than the Reptilians, strangely enough. The Reptilians is familiar. I don't think I am one, but it feels familiar to me because I think because my logical brain wants to make sense of why people do bad things. And it's clearly so they can suck energy. It's clearly to feed the 6 to 7 foot reptilian hybrids that live amongst us and have all of this popularity and huge spheres of influence. That's got to be it.
Ooh,
There's no other reason.
could be. Or just money. Money. money
And more money, perhaps.
and sex.
Well, copulation is part of the reptilian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it could be, but
What do
yeah.
you think? Reptilians?
Oh boy, that's a tough one. I mean, I've seen all the videos. It's an entertaining story. It's I don't know. There's so much weird stuff, and I'm going through a fluctuation in my.
Do you believe that
beliefs
there
anyway.
are other galaxies?
I know there's other galaxies.
Okay. So do you believe that there are other dimensions?
See, my changes are when we first started a few months ago.
I know. You've had a
this,
shift in your theology for sure.
But there, not a shift. There is a constant shift going on now because, I'm seeing different things and I'm studying different things. So you're watching an evolution of just. I've always been kind of an open-minded guy, but there's a constant shift going on. So
yeah.
do I believe in anything? I don't know. I don't honestly, I'm a blank slate right now.
Yeah. Well,
everyone's scribbling on this chalkboard, and
I do not want to believe in reptilians, but I think I do.
Yeah.
I think that what it does is it creates a narrative for me that I can follow.
Can any of them be benevolent?
No.
Okay.
That's straight across the board. That's not their mission. They're naturistic.
Are they organized in their design?
Yes.
For control and destruction.
Absolutely.
So the ones that don't know they're reptilians just naturally work towards that.
Yeah, well,
but the ones
they're
that do
supported
know,
and controlled by those that do know.
So, okay, Justin Bieber has a producer or whatever you call it.
Right.
The epic,
whoever's the highest level of influence for him is clearly a reptilian.
And they guide him towards making that emotion that they can feed on.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I can dig it.
And not only there's a lot of theories about mind control with the reptilians and their predecessors, the hybrids, but most of it is done by grassroots. Like the person who controls Bieber's money and creates the path with which he approaches, and there may be many people in his life that are full reptilians. That maybe his mom, maybe whoever is in his biggest or largest sphere of influence, you can, if he's a hybrid, you can guarantee that there are several reptilians that are controlling it.
They're just gathered around him, a parent or a
right. And their intentions are clear, where his are more just kind of, taking it as it comes, perhaps, or
gain popularity.
Yeah.
So and then when you see the ones that kind of collapse, like Lindsay Lohan had kind of a major public collapse, 5-7 years ago. Was she a reptilian or a hybrid or was she a tool, a non-hybrid tool that kind of, once it kind of came out, she just collapsed?
Maybe.
Ooh.
Maybe.
Wow.
So the people in your lives could be reptilians.
Who we need to chat about this. Who in our life could be?
Is a reptilian, yeah.
Because I mean, honestly,
since I've been doing this research, I've been looking very closely. People who can move their eyes independently, like that lizard on the commercial, reptilians.
I don't know anyone who can do that.
I can. It's the weirdest thing to think about.
You can move your eyes independently?
Yeah. I can move. I can look straight.
I mean, I can go cross-eyed.
I can look straight and move one eye out to the side and then bring it back.
Ooh.
And then move the other eye
okay,
out
look
to the
into
side
the camera.
and bring it back. The camera's too far away, but
I want to see this done.
Yeah, I'll show you.
I kind of wanted you to show me through the camera, though. I don't want to get too close.
You want to see the reptilian shapeshift?
The air.
It's reptilians. They're familiar to me. They feel more familiar than grays.
That's maybe why you believe it. See, yes. I believe in Bigfoot.
It's
Huh?
it's more familiar to you.
Sometimes my bum gets a little red.
Oh, well, Bigfoot. Yeah.
Oh,
So let us know what you think,
creepy
reptilians.
stuff. If you got any good stories
If you've been abducted by a reptilian,
or an alien in general,
any
or a
alien,
Sasquatch,
oh yeah, Sasquatches they abduct too.
yeah,
They have for centuries.
we want to hear your stories.
We want to know.
So you can find us on what have we got? WeirdObscureWorld.com. Send us emails. Jared,
Facebook, where you're seeing this.
yeah, Facebook. We're recording this on Facebook Live. It will be on YouTube. Find us on Facebook. It's a Wow Podcast.
Mhm. This will also go up on all the podcast catchers.
Yeah, it'll be on the
Libsyn and
podcast
such.
catchers. Send us your stories. Send us your thoughts. We can put them out anonymously.
Mhm.
Like, share, subscribe, share with a friend if you like the show. If you don't like the show,
Like, share, subscribe, share with a friend. Maybe they will.
Yeah, we try to keep it light and funny, cover weird stuff.
Yeah.
We like the weird news stories. We love the news stories, and we want to keep going over weird stuff. We've got skinwalkers coming up. We've got strange laws coming up. We've got we both had a regressive hypnotic therapy session 2 weeks ago.
Which was awesome.
That show's coming up. We both had different experiences with it, and I want to cover what may have caused those, why they were so different, and that's led a lot into my change in beliefs. So, not a change in beliefs, in my beliefs I held being subdued, and I'm more open now to new thoughts and ideas.
Sweet.
Yep. But thanks for joining us.
Thanks for joining.
Yep. Have a good week. We'll see you sometime midweek with just a couple new shows.
Okay. Sounds good.
Bye.
Bye.